The Joplin Public Library spreads holiday cheer with a cup of tea. Plus, Joplin and Seneca Police help kids get Christmas gifts. And a holiday market in Pittsburgh gets people to shop small.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Cale Chapman. The Joplin Public Library celebrated the holidays with their annual holiday tea time. The event included a performance by Midwest Regional Ballet, holiday-themed cookies, and of course, tea.
My favorite part is whenever people might see dance for the first time or hear music, a type of music they haven't heard, because this year we partnered with Midwest Regional Ballet, so it was a ballet, and in the past we've partnered with other organizations and had everything from string ensembles to opera, so it's always nice to see someone see that for the first time.
While participating in holiday festivities, why not include your furry friends? Crawford County Historical Museum is hosting Pet Santa photos. Ugly sweaters and Christmas-themed accessories are encouraged. The event also includes Christmas crafts for kids.
Well, for the holidays, this was great. This is actually started with Amanda Mitten, who takes care of the Crawford County Museum here and does a fabulous job. Well, she brought it to my attention, and I thought it was a great idea as well. So our group got together with her and found Santa Claus, and then just got the ball rolling. And the people in this community have been very, very gracious to us today in turning out.
All proceeds from the event benefit SEK Animal Advocates. Sam Lane joins us with a first look at weather.
Thank you very much, Cale. We started off with some clouds this morning and a little bit of fog, but then as the afternoon wore on, we started to see the sun peek through just a little bit, but now the clouds are back ahead of the next storm system. And tonight we are expecting fog to redevelop, especially off towards the west. In some of our western counties, visibilities could drop down to around 2 or 3 miles. And then the fog will start to lift as we go through the day. But the clouds are going to be with us for a little bit longer in anticipation of the next storm system that will start to move in on Tuesday with some thunderstorms possible, colder Wednesday, and then an extended cold wave. And I'll tell you all about that and what that means in our forecast coming up in just a little bit.
All right, thank you, Sam. The MSSU Choral Society presented its holiday concert at the First Community Church in Joplin. KOAM's Shagun Bomadelli was there and has more.
As Christmas Day approaches, the MSSU Choral Society, conducted by Melissa Black, is an area-wide mixed choir that offers fellowship and fun for those who are passionate about singing.
I think all of us love to sing, and we love to bring what it is that we have to people and provide a little fun and excitement at the holidays. You know, this is a great time of year, and we love to do what we do and sing for everyone.
With the harmonies of the songs, Bloss says the nativity brings the community together.
About choral singing is it brings people together. We're 4 different parts, soprano, alto, tenor, bass, but when we come together we make a better sound than just individual, and that's kind of true of what we do in life. So we're a microcosm, if you will, of life. We're making the community a better place by singing together.
This is the first time the group is meeting since 2020.
We shut down, we had to stop for a while, and then we got to start back up, and I believe this is my 3rd concert with them.
Being the conductor of the music group, Bleak says music is a universal language.
Music speaks to so many people, and it expresses so many different types of emotions that it's just a way to celebrate the season. And with this particular group, it's a wonderful fellowship. And so we just enjoy getting together and making beautiful music.
Reporting in Joplin, Shagun Bomadelli, KOAM News.
Members of the choir sang several selections that celebrate the holiday season, including Christmas on Broadway. Earlier today, the holiday Sip and Shop at the Frisco Event Center featured local vendors from around the area. The shop included clothing, sweets, candles, signs, and more. Coffee and hot chocolate was provided to keep shoppers warm.
I think it's a great way for people to support the local businesses around the holidays. It's a great way for people to shop small, and there's a bunch of great vendors here. So,
some of the vendors in attendance included The Sugar Pit, Creative Cottage, Astor Boutique, and Sally's Sweet Treats. Yesterday, the Joplin and Seneca Police Departments teamed up for their annual Shop with a Cop event at Walmart on Rangeline. The event allowed local students from Joplin and Seneca schools to get some Christmas gifts for everyone on their lists. More than 175 kids were able to shop. Donations for the event came from individuals, businesses, and organizations from around the area.
This program, it's really special, especially whenever you get paired with a kid and they want to shop for people other than themselves. It really touches your heart.
Kids are chosen for the program by school resource officers and guidance counselors. Cleanup efforts following the Keystone oil spill continue in Washington County, Kansas. CBS correspondent Joe Baker has the details.
Just 20 miles south of the Kansas-Nebraska state line, Skyhawk 12 shows the aftermath of the largest Keystone pipeline spill ever recorded. Federal data says this oil spill is the biggest one in Keystone pipeline history. It's impacting many people here in Washington County, including one family who owns a farm. Chris Panbacker says the oil spill is impacting their longtime family farm. Pictures from their land show just some of the damage with oil spilling into their property. Chris says she and her loved ones are devastated.
We know we have pasture grass that's black that probably will have to be removed. Things happen, and we just have to repair it and move forward.
Chris says the family will do whatever it takes to restore the land that's been in their name for generations.
It's our land, it's our livelihood. Our kids grew up there. Bill and his sisters grew up there. There's a lot of heritage and history there, and our families worked hard to be good stewards of the land. So we want to do whatever we can to restore it.
Nearly 150 crew members in Washington County working nonstop to help fix the spill, and officials are working to investigate what led to it.
It's a continuing effort to determine what happened, and the cleanup process is ongoing.
The county's emergency preparedness coordinator, Randy Hubbard, says water is safe to drink for those in Washington and surrounding the oil spill, and he says he doesn't expect that to change. He asked for people to avoid the area while crews continue to work.
There's going to be a lot of traffic in the area for quite a while. The company probably has 150 people on the ground in all capacities on site. So there's lots of equipment and a lot of moving parts.
In Washington County, Joe Baker, 12 News.
We take time now to honor a local veteran. Larry Boyd served in the U.S. Army in 1972. The Fairland, Oklahoma native was stationed in Vietnam, Korea, Germany, and Turkey. He received a Bronze Star and Technical Service Medal. We salute Sergeant First Class Larry Boyd, a four-state hero. Coming up, one New Mexico community program gets weapons off the street. Plus, Hawaii's volcano threat level is lowered as the eruption begins to slow. APD and the Bernalillo County DA's office teamed up with Guns to Gardens for the event in the International District. 207 guns were turned in by community members, and more than $24,000 in gift cards were handed out. Organizers tell us the demand was so high, gift cards ran out in the first 2 hours. After being surrendered, each gun is checked to make sure it's not stolen. Then the guns will be repurposed into gardening tools. The man accused of making the bomb that destroyed Pan Am Flight 103 has been taken into U.S. custody and will face federal charges. He is the third Libyan intelligence official charged in the U.S. in connection with the 1988 attack that killed 270 people. He would be the first to appear in an American courtroom for prosecution. CBS News correspondent Christian Benavidez is in Miami with the latest.
The suspect is a Libyan intelligence official accused of making the bomb that brought down Pan Am Flight 103 over Lockerbie, Scotland on December 21st, 1988. Now, just before the 34th anniversary of the International Act of Terrorism, the Justice Department says Abu Ajila Massoud is in U.S. custody and will face charges in Washington. The capture of Massoud, who was charged nearly 2 years ago, marks a long-awaited milestone in the decades-long investigation. The attack killed 259 people on board a New York-bound flight from London. 190 Americans were on board. 11 people were killed on the ground after the plane exploded over Scotland. Those killed included 35 Syracuse University students on their way home for the holidays after a semester studying abroad. Sunday, the school's chancellor said in part in a statement, "Today's news is a significant milestone in a decades-long process to bring those responsible for this despicable act to justice." The mother of victim Nicole Boulanger says the tragedy haunts her every day.
Today's news was a shock because I wasn't expecting it today, but I knew that they knew the bomber, and the bomber was in Libya. It's very important that the people who perpetrate these crimes are brought to justice.
Scottish and UK officials vowed to continue to pursue the investigation with the U.S. Cristian Benavides, CBS News, Miami.
The Justice Department said Massoud would appear in a federal court in Washington, where he faces 2 criminal counts related to the explosion. This weekend, the alert level for Hawaii's Mauna Loa volcano was lowered from a warning to a watch. Scientists predict the eruption may soon come to an end as it continues to be monitored for changes in activity. The eruption first occurred on Sunday, November 27th, after not erupting for nearly 40 years. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, high eruption rates will not resume based on past eruptive behavior, and current behavior suggests that the eruption may end soon. Rain didn't keep crowds from heading to the historic downtown Franklin for the 37th annual Dickens of a Christmas celebration. For 37 years, the outdoor event has transported visitors back in time to the time of Charles Dickens. Attendees can find famous characters roaming the square like Tiny Tim, Jacob Marley, and Ebenezer Scrooge.
A festival celebrating tradition. But for many, Franklin's Dickens of a Christmas has become a tradition of its own.
The concept is a Victorian Christmas.
For 37 years, the outdoor event has transported visitors back to the time of Charles Dickens.
Well, they love Franklin. They love downtown Franklin. And how can you make it better? To add Christmas and Christmas lights, great activities, 4 stages. There's just so much to do.
Whether to indulge in festival foods or take in live performances, crowds showed up despite the rain.
It brings in, 100,000+ people to downtown. And even if they don't get to shop in some of our shops that day, they'll come back. So it's a huge economic boost for our shops.
Vendors from near and far came for a piece of the action.
This was one of our best shows last year, so we came back to do it again for this year.
The shoemakers traveled from Mississippi to sell their charcuterie boards.
It's very, very important to us because we do this full time.
They are among 150 vendors lining the streets.
This year, with the economy been kind of down a little bit, so it hadn't been as good this year as it was last year.
But with a little Christmas magic, the shoemakers hope this event will change that. And judging by the crowds, everyone at the festival will have something to cheer about. Olivia Michael, News Channel 5.
A little later, we take a look at this weekend's biggest box office hits.
And we're going to have a look at the forecast because we have some changes in store, including some winter weather. We'll have the details right after this. Well, friends, we started off with the cloudy skies and foggy conditions this morning, but then the sun did come out just for a little bit, but now the clouds are back, and that's because the next storm system is starting to move in. Right now, though, it's still way out to the west. Pretty nice evening down in Seneca, Missouri at the Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, including across the entire area. Still pretty nice evening, but watch out for the fog if you're going to be traveling out and about later on tonight. Temperatures this afternoon were generally in the upper 40s to around 50 degrees in the metro. 51 in Afton, 49 in Pineville today, 43 up in Garnett, and only 41 in Yates Center and in Stockton for some of the coolest readings. And temperatures are going to be generally in the 40s tonight as well. Today we made it up to 50 after starting out at 42. The normals are 49 and 29, and the records 74 and 5 back in 1962. All right, let's take a look at the radar. it's all clear right now, but that's going to be changing over the next 24 to 36 hours as the next storm system starts to move in from the north and west. Right now in Joplin, we're sitting at 45 degrees, an east wind at 6, and it feels like 42, and the dew point's 42 as well. So we're pretty close together on the temperature and dew point. So the humidity's at 90%, so we're getting closer and closer to 100% humidity, and that means fog formation is likely going to occur, especially out in the western sections tonight. Temperatures are generally in the 40s still right now at this hour. 39 though at Iola for one of the warmest or the coolest reading, 49 down in Jay. And over the last 24 hours, it's a little bit warmer tonight out in the western sections than it was last night at this time, around 11 degrees warmer in Sedan right now than it was 24 hours ago. Here's the storm system that we're keeping our eyes on. It's moving into California right now, and as this ejects out into the plains, we're expecting showers and thunderstorms to develop across our area. Some of the storms could be severe, especially down to the south of us, and then the upper level low is just going to sit over the central plains, funneling in cold air from the north. So we're going to be going into a little bit of a winter spell, and we're going to be watching another storm system off the coast as it starts to make its way onshore. Here's the thunderstorm risk for Thursday. Severe weather likely in northern Louisiana, southern Arkansas. Here in our area, I think the highest threat is going to be the heaviest rain, and some of the rain is going to be pretty heavy, especially in some isolated spots. Rain chances over the next 36 hours are going to be increasing, especially as we move into Tuesday morning. And here's the rainfall forecast amounts. Generally over ½ an inch everywhere, maybe a few isolated spots around an inch of rain in some of those local areas. Temperatures tonight are going to be in the 40s with mostly cloudy skies with southeasterly winds. Then tomorrow, we're going to keep the clouds around with temperatures in the 50s, but as we go through Monday evening into Tuesday, here comes the next round of rain moving in from the west, and by Tuesday morning, it'll be pretty much across our area with temperatures in the 50s. Then that moves out by Tuesday afternoon with temperatures in the upper 50s to around 60 degrees. But here comes the cold front. It's going to sweep through Tuesday or Wednesday night into Wednesday morning with temperatures dropping down into the 30s and even some 20s, especially up towards the north. A cold wave is going to be setting up across the entire country over the next 8 to 14 days. And as we go through our 7-day forecast, you can see that 61 on Tuesday with those storms, and then turning colder on Wednesday and remaining cold right on through the rest of the week into the weekend with maybe a few flurries thrown in. So get ready for a little bit of winter out there.
All righty. Well, still ahead, the Pitt State Gorillas are in action today.
Yeah, the men and women face Central Oklahoma. We'll have those details coming up. And the Kansas City Chiefs are on the road against Denver. Those highlights and more next. The Chiefs are 9-3 this season and 3-0 against division opponents. Today, Kansas City is on the road facing AFC West rival Denver. This is the first of 2 meetings this season. Chiefs up 6-0 in the second. Patrick Mahomes flips it to Jerick McKinnon. He takes off 56 yards and in for the touchdown. But let's rewind to this throw. No-look pass under pressure from Patrick Mahomes. Chiefs defense with the big play. Willie Gay picks off the pass. He returns it 47 yards for the pick 6. Chiefs lead 27-0, but Denver makes a comeback, capitalizing on a few Kansas City turnovers. Third quarter, Russell Wilson finds Marlon Mack, gets a few blocks, pushes off the last guy in his way, 66 yards, and stumbles into the end zone. That makes it a 6-point game. Chiefs offense regroups. Mahomes finds Juju Smith-Schuster to extend the lead. Then under 5 minutes, Denver with a chance, down by 6 once again. But the pass is intercepted by L'Jarius Sneed. Kansas City hangs on to win 34-28.
Luckily, we got the win, but you don't win a lot of games when you have 3 interceptions. It's just been a little too loose with the football, and I got to correct that because we're going to continue to play good teams, and we're trying to make a run in the playoffs, and I have to correct that and take all the good that I'm doing, and then take away that negative stuff because that's what loses you games in the playoffs.
The Pitt State women are off to a hot start this season. The Gorillas are 7-2 with just 2 games left before the Christmas break. Pitt State is in action today against Central Oklahoma. The Gorillas drop a season-high 100 points and pick up their 3rd straight win. 6 players score in the double figures. Tristan Gegg leads the way with 18 points, including 5 threes. The Pitt State men fall to 6th-ranked Central Oklahoma 77-60. Deshaun English scores a team-high 17 points with 9 boards. Calvin Polina, also a big contributor, 14 points and 8 rebounds. At the Division I level, Kansas State hits the floor against Incarnate Word. The Wildcats roll by the Cardinals 98-50. Keontae Johnson scores 18 points and Kansas State improves to a 9-1 record. The Joplin Eagles won the Carthage Invitational on Saturday for the 2nd straight year. The Eagles topped the tournament host Tigers 60-54. Joplin's All Right is named the tournament MVP. He averaged 28 points per game over the course of the weekend. Maybe not the prettiest win for the Chiefs, but they get the job done today nonetheless.
Yeah, I always love it when the Broncos lose, so it's great. It's a win-win situation there.
Everybody's happy, I guess.
Heck yeah. All righty, we'll be right back after this break. It's a quiet weekend at the box office as audiences wait for Avatar: The Way of Water to arrive next Friday. David Daniel has early estimates for the top 5 films in theaters this weekend.
The commanding officer called you one of the best pilots he's ever seen.
The Korean War drama Devotion made $2 million to stay in 5th place. The Menu took 4th in its 4th weekend in theaters, ordering up $2.7 million. $3.6 million kept the animated adventure Strange World in 3rd place.
Is this our Santa Claus?
Yeah, it is. To whom am I speaking?
Well, for tonight, I'm Mr. Scrooge now.
The Yuletide action flick Violent Night was the runner-up for the 2nd straight weekend, finding $8.7 million under the tree.
Stop! Right there! Who are you? And how did you get in here?
$11.1 million gave Black Panther Wakanda Forever its 5th straight weekend win, and a domestic total of $409.8 million, closing in on Doctor Strange in the Multitude of Madness for the 2nd highest total of the year. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
All righty, well, cool beans. I know that I caught Violent Night this weekend. It was pretty interesting, solid watch. But
okay.
Sam,
we have an interesting forecast too. We're going to see some rain move in on Monday night into Tuesday morning. Some of those storms could be strong on Tuesday. Then it turns colder and more winter-like around here with temperatures in the 40s and 30s by next weekend, maybe a few flurries, and that continues into early next week as well. So as we get closer to Christmas, it's going to feel more like winter out there.
Sports?
Big win for the Pitt State women. They drop 100 points tonight against UCO.
Heck yeah. All right. Well, that's our time for now. Remember, we're always on at KOAMNewsNow.com and with the KOAM News Now app.